Touch the leg. Welcome to Tibet this week. Today is the first day of the water rapid year of Tibetan lunar calendar.
So in this special episode, we bring you news on Tibet, His Holiness the Dalai Lama and the Central Tibetan Administration. Here are the top 10 headlines from last year. His Holiness the Dalai Lama resumes public engagements post-pandemic.
Communist Party of China escalates systematic assimilation policy in Tibet.
Tibet continues to report arbitrary arrests, detentions, death in custody.
Tibetan political prisoners succumb to tortures in prisons and detention centers.
China's COVID policy endangers Tibetan lives in Tibet.
Central Tibetan Administration undertakes massive advocacy campaigns.
The US, Canada and Japan pass resolutions in favor of Tibet.
Governments, rights groups and policymakers hold China responsible for grim human rights in Tibet.
Central Tibetan Administration initiates digital transformation.
Tibet supporters around the world operate in high spirit.
As the pandemic subsided early last year, His Holiness the Dalai Lama resumed his activities, meeting people and visiting places within India in the spirit of promoting peace and compassion. As His Holiness turned 87 last year, greetings poured in from world leaders, prominent personalities and people from all around the world in the form of letters, video messages, statements and tweets. Since the intervening COVID-19 pandemic, His Holiness the Dalai Lama began his first public engagement last year on the 15th day of the Tibetan New Year at Tsuglakang, celebrating the Day of Miracles that commemorates an episode in the life of the Buddha. One of the notable meetings His Holiness the Dalai Lama had last year was with the US Special Coordinator for Tibetan Issues, Azra Zia. During the meeting, His Holiness the Dalai Lama said that despite the People's Republic of China's best efforts, it has failed to win the Tibetan people and transform their minds, and that the thinking of Chinese people itself is rapidly changing. When the reports of Tibetans in Tibet suffering under Chinese Communist Party's mismanagement of COVID policy surfaced, His Holiness the Dalai Lama sent a message of hope and prayers to the Tibetans inside Tibet. Last year, His Holiness the Dalai Lama was conferred the Sivananda Peace Award by the Sivananda World Peace Foundation and Ladakh Pelngam Tudun Award 2022 presented by Ladakh Autonomous Hill Development Council. His Holiness the Dalai Lama presided over inauguration of notable conferences, seminars, book launches and learning centers. In Dharamshala, His Holiness the Dalai Lama inaugurated the Dalai Lama Library and Archives, had discussions on mind, brain and consciousness with the members of the Mind and Life Institute, interacted with young leaders and peace builders of the United States Institute of Peace and Compassionate Leadership Summit, addressed the participants of Sea Learning and blessed the launch of Myolam Grand Tibetan Dictionary. His Holiness the Dalai Lama spent over a month of last summer in Ladakh region in the far north of India, making pilgrimages to the mosques, churches and monasteries, giving teachings and empowerments to the thousands of devotees, addressing participants of the Great Summer Debate, interacting with the school students and inaugurating learning centers. Over tens of thousands of devotees gathered in Bodh Gaya, the land of Lord Buddha's enlightenment, to catch a glimpse of His Holiness the Dalai Lama and listen to his teachings at the end of the last year. In the town, His Holiness paid homage to the Mahabodhi Temple, gave teachings, addressed the inaugural of Pali and Sanskrit International Bhikkhu Exchange Program, and blessed the foundation stone of Dalai Lama Center for Tibetan and Indian Ancient Wisdom. Despite the steady public engagements in the places of visits, His Holiness the Dalai Lama interacted with the faculties and students of Salwan Education Trust and delivered the inaugural T. N. Chaturvedi Memorial Lecture during the short transit in the Indian capital, New Delhi. Various Tibetan associations, organizations and Buddhist groups of devotees such as the Debung Komang, the Laden Chodul Melam Chimo Trust, Nyingma Tradition, Saga Tradition, TCB Global Family, the North American Tibetan Association, Cholkong Gelsum, Yamtok, Ngari and Changri, the Tentong Cultural Preservation Society MERN, the International Chernang Wellbeing Association, the Dome Mangpa Jasum Association, the alumni of Namge Higher Secondary School, the Sydney Tibetan Association, people of Ladakh and Geluk International Foundation offered prayers for His Holiness the Dalai Lama's long life in Dharamshala, Ladakh and Bodh Gaya. His Holiness the Dalai Lama presided over all of these long life offering ceremonies, giving teachings, bestowing empowerments and interacting with devotees. Ensuring his health in a perfect condition, His Holiness reaffirmed his wish and prayers to live more than 100 years of age in order to fulfill the aspirations of his followers, particularly those of the Tibetan people.
Several reports from Tibet last year presented the Communist Party of China's increased systematic repression on cultural, linguistic and educational rights of the Tibetans. Reports of the Toronto-based Citizen Lab and Human Rights Watch depicted China's systematic mass collection of DNA in Tibet to establish a system of mass surveillance, while reports produced by rights groups such as the Tibet Action Institute presented systematic eradication of Tibetan culture, identity and language, including removal of Tibetan language as a medium of teaching instruction, forcible closure of local Tibetan schools, curtailment of any informal voluntary setting to teach Tibetan language and culture. Rights groups and world leaders expressed serious concern over this intensified assimilation policy. The UN Special Rapporteurs sent a joint communication to China noting a series of oppressive actions against Tibetan educational, religious and linguistic institutions in contradiction to the right to education, cultural rights, freedom of religion or belief and other minority rights of the Tibetan. The experts underlined the residential school systems in Tibet as a large-scale program to assimilate Tibetans into majority Han culture. A pair of United States legislators, Senator Jeff Merkley and Representative Jim McGovern, chair and co-chair respectively of the Bipartisan and Bicameral Congressional Executive Commission on China, requested the United Nations High Commissioner for Human Rights probe into reports that children in Tibet are being forcibly separated from their parents and that these practices constitute serious human rights violations and cultural and linguistic erasure. Tibetan parents in Kolok, Amdo, Tibet and Nima County in central Tibet were forced to attend Chinese political indoctrination workshop sessions. Reacting to the reports of Chinese authorities conducting mass DNA sample collection across Tibet, the members of the Inter-Parliamentary Alliance on China wrote to 15 global legislatures expressing deep concerns over the People's Republic of China's policy to enhance surveillance on minorities, including overwhelming number of children without individuals' consent. The commissioners of the Congressional Executive Commission on China also sent a bipartisan letter to CEO Mark Casper of Thermo Fisher Scientific to inquire his company's knowledge and involvement in the supplies of DNA sequencers to police in Tibet.
Reports of increased repression and rights violation in Tibet continued to surface last year. Freedom House has once again ranked Tibet as the least free country in the world for 2 consecutive years. Just days ahead of the 87th birthday of His Holiness the Dalai Lama on 6 July, the Lhasa-based Municipality Public Security Bureau issued a public notice promising a hefty reward of 300,000 Chinese yuan for Tibetans reporting on dissenting views and pro-independence activities which are deemed criminal offense against state security. The beginning of the year was marked by 3 known cases of self-immolation by Tibetans in protest against the Chinese government's oppression. Tsawa Nubu was a 25-year-old contemporary Tibetan singer who reportedly self-immolated in front of the Potala Palace, while the 81-year-old Tabun self-immolated in front of police station located near Kirti Monastery in Ngaba. Another Tibetan whose name and background was unavailable self-immolated at Kegudu in Tibet's traditional Kham province. China's government has intensified its act of targeting Tibetan intellectuals and writers with punishments including long prison sentences following the months of secret detention in the claim of committing an act of separatism for merely asserting their national identity and exercising fundamental rights in protecting the Tibetan language and culture. 6 Tibetan writers and activists were sentenced to prison terms up to 14 years on charges of inciting separatism and endangering state security in Karze, eastern Tibet. Myolam Gyatso, a monk, writer and teacher from Raktam village, Seda County in Karze, was sentenced to 3 years in prison. According to Tibetan Center for Human Rights and Democracy, a 48-year-old Tibetan writer, Rongpo Gyendulundu, who was sentenced to 4 years fixed-term imprisonment and 2 years deprivation of political rights. Another Tibetan 34-year-old writer, Thupten Lode, has been reportedly sentenced to 4 years and 6 months in prison by the Chinese government on the charges of inciting separatism. Tibetan writer and scholar Rongwo Kangar from Rongwo Monastery was also arbitrarily arrested by the Chinese authorities in early 2021. He is reportedly in Chinese police custody since then. Lobsang Chumbel, a Tibetan monk from Kirti Monastery in Ngapa, was sentenced to 2 years and 6 months in prison by the Chinese authorities in October last year. In another report, 2 Tibetan sisters, Dzumkha and Yudrim from Amdo County in Tibet's Nakchu region, have also been arrested and detained on 23 June and 11 July, respectively, after they were accused of keeping portraits of His Holiness the Dalai Lama at their home. Tenzin Tharke and Rigse from Barong Monastery, Karze, were sentenced for possessing photos of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. According to the Tibetan Center for Human Rights and Democracy, the Chinese authorities have sentenced 45-year-old Tibetan entrepreneur and philanthropist Tenzin Chumbel from Nakchu City's Sengye district to 18 years in prison on trumped-up charges of inciting separatism. Jingmi Gyatso, a 36-year-old Tibetan monk from Tibet's Tsongkhon Buddhist University from the traditional province of Amdo, is being detained by the Chinese government for over a year without a verdict. According to reliable sources, in June 2021, the Qinghai provincial police officers arrested Jingmi Gyatso on charges linked to distributing poetry books to the fellow monks at Tsongkhon Buddhist University during a graduation ceremony. Nima, a student at Sichuan Gehe National University, and Thupten Lode, language activists, were sentenced for contacting Tibetan exiles and for separatist acts, respectively. Chinese authorities have reportedly denied family visits to the imprisoned Tibetan monk Rinchen Tsuldim, who is serving 4.5 years in prison following a secret trial. Rinchen was also subjected to the so-called patriotic education sessions and hard labor. Rinchen Tsuldim, a monk from the Nangxing Monastery, was initially arrested by the Chinese officials of the Ngapa Public Security Bureau in the year 2019.
Due to severe torture and denial of necessary medical attention to Tibetan political prisoners, this year too so many Tibetan political prisoners succumbed to torture in prison. Some passed away after their immediate release from prison, and some passed away after surviving a few months or years. Venerable the 5th Chukde Dawa Rinpoche, also known by his full name as Jizun Kherab Wangchuk Samde Tempai Gyaltsen Pe Sangbo, reportedly passed away on 30th January 2022 at the age of 86. News of the passing of venerated Tibetan Lama, who has spent years in a Chinese prison, emerged amid Chinese authorities' heightened information lockdown campaign. The authorities reportedly restricted a number of devotees from attending the funeral and paying respect to the deceased. One of recent reports mentioned a 56-year-old Geshe Phende Gyaltsen died in the custody of Litang County's police. Sources reported the death of former Tibetan political prisoner Jingmi Gyatso at the age of 56 after being in a poor health since his release from prison in 2016. Other media reports indicate that Jingmi could have survived if the Chinese government had not denied him and his family access to emergency medical treatments on multiple occasions when he needed to recuperate from the injuries he sustained while in prison. According to Tibet Times, two Tibetans named Ngutupsring and Chukdar from Karzi Tibetan Autonomous Prefecture has died in the Chinese police custody on 28 September and 26 August last year. Ngutupsring was arrested by the Chinese police officials for allegedly delivering food and eatables to an old-age home, due to which he was interrogated and beaten to death in the local police station. Another Tibetan monk and political prisoner, Geshe Tenzin Pelsang, also known as Tenga, who served 6 long years in prison for fabricated political crimes, passed away early November last year from prolonged injuries incurred in Chinese police custody.
China's mismanagement of its so-called zero-COVID policy resulted in a disastrous violation of human rights and denial of basic rights, including required medical attention and negligence in Tibet, along with East Turkestan and in China. Many Tibetans were arrested for protesting against the government policy and sending out information regarding the snap lockdowns, terrible quarantine facilities, and poor living conditions amidst the pandemic. Rights groups have reported 5 suicide cases of Tibetans due to intolerable conditions in quarantine facilities in Tibet's capital, Lhasa, alone. Massive protests erupted in Lhasa against severe COVID lockdowns, and restrictions resulted in the detention of around 20 residents. Zamgar, Kelsang Doma, Dechen, and Dela, all in their 20s, and residents of Dardo County in the Karze, were arrested for protesting against COVID lockdowns in Sichuan. The Kangyang app, a short video social media platform which is a popular Tibetan language video sharing app, abruptly announced shutting down for financial reasons. Following numerous reports on China's mismanagement of COVID outbreak in Tibet, the Kashak of the Central Tibetan Administration issued a press statement calling on Beijing to adequately acknowledge the public criticisms and protect them from reprisals from honest opinions of the government's mismanagement. The Tibetan Center for Human Rights and Democracy reported discriminatory treatment and arbitrary detention of Tibetans in Tibet.
The Kashak and the Tibetan Parliament in Exile undertook a massive Tibet advocacy campaign last year, meeting world leaders, policymakers, and activists all around the world. Shortly after Sikyong Pemba Tsring's visit to Washington, D.C., where Sikyong met with U.S. Special Coordinator for Tibetan Issues, along with House Speaker Nancy Pelosi and other bipartisan members of Congress and other officials at the State Department, Dharamshala welcomed the U.S. Special Coordinator for Tibetan Issues for a 2-day visit to the town. The Special Coordinator, along with her entourage, visited the Central Tibetan Administration and had discussions with 16th Kashak, led by Sikyong Pemba Tsring, the Speaker, Deputy Speaker, and the members of the Tibetan Parliament in Exile. She also visited the Tibetan cultural centers and met with members of the Tibetan community, including the members of Tibetan civil society and the Tibetan children. Sikyong Pemba Tsering led Kasha delegation, and various delegations representing the Tibetan Parliament in Exile made appeal to the world leaders and policymakers of the countries such as the US, Canada, Germany, France, Holland, Sweden and the UK to assist in resolving the Sino-Tibet conflict at the earliest and pressurize the Chinese Communist Party in putting an end to the gross human rights violations in Tibet. The Central Tibetan Administration delegations campaigned for the release of Tibetan political prisoners, including the 11th Panchen Lama, and called for world's attention to Tibet's deteriorating environmental condition. More than 100 participants representing 28 nations attended the 8th World Parliamentarians Convention on Tibet in Washington, D.C., organized by the Tibetan Parliament in Exile with support from the U.S. Congress. The members of parliament from different countries, experts and activists deliberated on various issues facing Tibet today. Sikyong Pemba Tsering of the Central Tibetan Administration undertook visits to the Tibetan settlements, schools and cultural centers in Northeast India, South India, Northern India and Central India.
The US Congress passed a resolution recognizing the Sino-Tibetan conflict as an unresolved conflict that requires immediate attention. The Promoting a Resolution to the Tibet-China Conflict Act seeks to strengthen the long-standing bipartisan US policy of promoting dialogue by ensuring that US policy is based on principles of international law and accurately reflects the nature of the conflict between Tibet and the People's Republic of China. The Canadian House of Commons unanimously passed a resolution supporting Sino-Tibetan dialogue. Japan's parliament also adopted a similar resolution. The U.S. Congressional Executive Committee on China for the first time held a hearing in Congress, the testimonies of researchers and historians.
Various governments, human rights groups, members of parliaments, and organizations called on the Chinese government to respect the human rights of the Tibetans and put an end to the ongoing gross violation of human rights in Tibet. The 6 UN Special Procedures Mandate holders includes Special Rapporteur in the field of cultural rights, Working Groups on Arbitrary Detention, Working Group on Enforced or Involuntary Disappearances, Special Rapporteur on the Promotion and Protection of the Rights to Freedom of Opinion and Expression, and Special Rapporteur on Minority Issues expressed concerns and held China accountable for the arrest, detention, and enforced disappearance of Tibetan writer Lobsang Hlundup, known by his pen name Dilhandin, musician Hlundrup Thakpa, and teacher Rinchen Ki. The United States Commission on International Religious Freedom recommended China, along with other countries such as Afghanistan, North Korea, Pakistan, Russia, and Burma as the countries of particular concern in its 2022 annual report. A group of more than 40 UN experts called upon China to address specific and systematic human rights violations and urged China to grant unhindered access to independent experts in a joint press statement released ahead of the 50th UN Human Rights Council session. The U.S. Congressional Executive Commission on China in its annual report re-emphasizes on the establishment of dialogue between the Chinese government and His Holiness the Dalai Lama.
Last year saw a series of conferences, seminars and meetings that the Central Tibetan Administration undertook as a part of its initial steps toward digital transformation. The Central Tibetan Administration initiated e-filing system for its offices and introduced online Green Book contribution system. Central Tibetan Administration also convened its first Tibetan IT Professionals Conference with more than 50 Tibetan IT professionals, a preliminary meeting on Digital Library Initiative, and the first Digital Strategy Development Meeting.
Srimati Rupi Mukherjee, the Eastern Regional Convener, Core Group for Tibetan Cause India, organized a seminar in Kolkata. Sikung Pemba Tsering delivered the opening address of the seminar. The seminar, titled Human Rights Violations in Tibet by People's Republic of China, saw the attendance of former members of Legislative Assembly Shri Rinchen Khandru Krimi, the national convener of the Core Group for Tibetan Cause, alongside other dignitaries. The Bharat Tibetan Sangh, in collaboration with Department of Buddhist Studies of University of Jammu, organized National Working Committee Meet-Come seminar. The Mexican Congress launched the Parliamentary Support Group for Tibet in the Chamber of Deputies of Mexico. A bipartisan Japanese parliamentarian supporting Tibet, Uyghur, and Southern Mongolian issues announced the formation of a parliamentarian caucus to monitor human rights violations by the Chinese Communist Party.
Those were the top 10 news from the Tibetan Water Tiger Year.
Tibettv wishes all its viewers celebrating Tibetan Losar
a very happy and prosperous year ahead. Thank you.